Let's go talk to George and learn about one of the best drummers in the world that I have never heard of. Please excuse my interview questions, for I have never done one before. So here we go. Come watch me get schooled.
Right, so we were talking about Carl Palmer.
Carl Palmer. Now explain to me who Carl Palmer is again. He's a drummer?
He's a drummer, probably one of the best in the world. That title I thought was Neil Peart from Rush.
Yeah.
But he's passed away, so now Carl Palmer is the best living drummer in the world right now.
And what band was he in?
Emerson Lake and Palmer.
Okay. What songs would we know of them?
Lucky Man was a big song by them. They were like a prog rock band in the 70s, sort of like Yes. So you had Keith Emerson, you had Carl Palmer, and Greg Lake. Now, Greg Lake has passed, and so has Keith Emerson. So the last living one is Carl Palmer. I did get to see him this year. Small little bar here in Orlando.
Does he advertise it like Carl Palmer and Friends, or how
They
would we
did
find
that,
him?
and then they're also talking about, I was talking to his manager when I saw him, and they're talking about doing a tour where they were going to do sort of like Michael Jackson and what's his name, Tupac, you know how they're doing those tours now with...
Oh, like the holograms.
They were thinking about doing that, but the price was just way out there.
Yeah.
You know, doing Carl Palmer and then you have Keith Emerson and stuff. So he said they're probably going to do an ELP type tour. They have been doing one, sort of, you know, where they do tributes to the songs and stuff. And Carl, you know, they play all the Emerson, Lake and Palmer songs. And he was playing in a small little bar here in Orlando. Couldn't have been maybe 100 or 200 people in there. And it was a great show. And the reason I thought about it was because my friend Donnie up north just saw him a couple days ago and put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And actually, I've met Carl Palmer and gotten his autograph.
Awesome.
Kind of cool.
Let's see that.
One of my favorite albums, Pictures at an Exhibition.
Now, does he advertise as ELP now? Still?
I think so, yeah. I mean, you can look him up as Carl Palmer. I think it's like carlpalmer.com, but
Does he sing or just play drums?
just plays drums.
Okay.
And he has other people playing the other parts.
Right.
So they'll sing, like Greg Lake was the singer. So he does have other guys do that. But I recommend the show highly. Incredible show.
Okay.
If you want to see one of the best drummers in the world, he's up there. This album was one that I got hooked on. And actually, it's what they did was they took a classical music, which was Mussorgsky, and Mussorgsky he was a Russian guy, and he did classical, and you can look it up, Pictures at an Exhibition. It's basically about pictures at an exhibition in a museum, you know, and that's what the whole thing's kind of about. And each song talks about a picture. Now, whether or not these pictures are that picture, I don't know. But this is their take on Mussorgsky's classical music.
Interesting.
So they basically, you know, did this. One of the reasons I really got hooked on them and got hooked on classical music was because of this album back in the day.
Now, is this album classical music or is this like rock and roll?
It's classical music, but it's their take on it.
Okay.
So it's really their version of their interpretation of classical music.
Interesting.
And I highly recommend that as a good starter.
Can we play a little snippet?
Sure. Always take care of your albums, especially if they're signed.
Where did you get it signed at? Did you have it signed or did you buy it like that?
I had that signed. He wasn't doing signings this time around because of COVID. So his manager actually got me a few albums signed this time. But the last time I saw him was in a small bar in Melbourne, and actually got to meet him after the show, and he signed some stuff as well. So that was kind of cool.
$80.
Start with side one.